Good evening and welcome to Newshour Agenda. Massive war of words has broken out in Karnataka over the 2020 DJ Halli and KJ Halli riots. This after State Home Minister G Parameshwara agreed to look into the request of Congress MLA and former Minister Tanveer Sait, who has demanded withdrawal of cases against youth and students arrested for rioting in 2020. The MLA has claimed that some accused, especially youngsters and students, were arrested under false cases, quote-unquote, in connection with protests and riots in Bengaluru's DJ Halli and KJ Halli and in Shivamogga and Hubballi districts.
See, as of now, the mastermind has not been booked. Those already in the judicial custody, I am sure that more than 50% of them are innocents. I have only asked the government to re-look into this system, re-verify or re-investigate to ensure that no innocent is booked. I have even made such appeals before the previous government too. But I did not get any justice. But now, since we have a People's Pro government, I have made my attempts with the present government.
Attacking Tanveer Sait's letter, Karnataka Home Minister G Parameshwara wrote to Home Department saying that the request for re-examining the cases be looked into and appropriate action be taken. Defending the intervention, the Home Minister said that the letter does not mean that cases were being withdrawn. He stated that the Congress MLA's request has only been put up under the process and a subcommittee will decide as per rules.
See, all this doesn't really matter. There is a system in the government to withdraw cases. There is a cabinet subcommittee under the chairmanship of the Home Minister, and they will decide. If somebody gives a representation that this case has to be withdrawn, we will not suo motu withdraw those cases. We will send it to the cabinet subcommittee and they will decide whether to withdraw or not. Then further it will go before the main cabinet and then cabinet will take a decision either way. Then only the cases will be withdrawn. Once they give a letter to the Home Minister, I will in turn write to send it to the Secretary.
A delegation of the Karnataka chapter of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board also met the Chief Minister with the request of dropping cases against innocents arrested on rioting charges. All right, we'll just play out that bite in just a minute. Some technical difficulty in playing that out. But the BJP is strongly lashed out the Congress government, accusing it of dancing to the tune of jihadists and PFI terrorists. Former Chief Minister Bommai has targeted Siddaramaiah government, saying that Congress was returning the favour after taking the help of rioters during the polls. In response, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has questioned the BJP about cases being dropped during the Bommai regime.
Just because the change of government means change of crime doesn't change. All these anti-social elements now have got wings and they're coming up openly, and they are creating law and order situation because they feel that they are protected by this government, and this government is protecting because they have taken support of all these elements in the elections, and now they have to repay them with all this kind of favors.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us is GS Prashant, spokesperson of the BJP. Anurag Naidu, author, is with us. Brajesh Kalapa, leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, joins us. Advocate Nikhil Jain is a political analyst with us. Let me start first and foremost with Kapil Madan. Kapil Madan, the BJP is alleging plain and simple appeasement. They are saying that how can these cases be withdrawn? There were serious attacks at police station, at individuals, including police officers. Even an MLA of the Congress party's house was attacked.
Madhav, I think Mr. Bommai does not even know even the ounce of the law. If you look at the statement made by the minister made a very, very clear appeal that, you should have a proper investigation, re-investigation to ensure that the culprits are broke. And if a person who is being wrongly embroiled in the dispute, it should come in the investigation. Now, let me also tell you that once the FIR is registered, it is the magistrate concerned who oversees the investigation also. Now,
Kapil Madan, are you aware that the High Court in the state has called this a terrorist act? Are you aware of this? That these acts of violence were nothing short of a terrorist act? Are you aware that, are you saying the High Court of the state is wrong?
Madhav, I can't hear you. If you're saying something, I can't hear you.
Kapil, simple question. You want me to quote? I can quote from the High Court and what it has observed as far as these particular acts of violence are concerned. They have said it's nothing short of a terror act.
No.
Are you saying that your court's wisdom is now going to be questioned?
Madhav, so you're telling me that if A has committed an offence, B should be prosecuted. Now the appeal
Who
is
said that?
What the appeal made by the minister was. Appeal made by the minister was that you should ensure that there should be a proper investigation and a person who has done the
withdrawal
act,
of
should be
cases.
prosecuted.
Sir, the problem is here when an act of violence has taken place, you have a situation where withdrawal of cases is what is being proposed. I see many heads being shaken. I see many heads shaking from the other side. Let me bring in the BJP spokesperson because somewhere. Yeah.
Let's play the bite again. Let's play the bite again. I think
we can play the bite multiple times. But let's bring in the BJP. What are they saying? Let's get in the version. Yes, Prashant, is Kapil Madan correct? Is it only an investigation into this entire case or the case is going to be withdrawn?
What is Tanveer Sait got to now say that reinvestigate unless he knows who the actual writers are, what they have done, why are they behind bars? In 2020, the then Congress MLA's house was burned down. And in a matter of probably few minutes, people gathered there and burnt his house down. And Congress even didn't support their own MLA to keep their vote bank alive. And they're doing what they know best, appeasement. They've been doing it for the past 7 decades. They continue to do that. Though on one side they have corruption as their DNA, appeasement is probably at the forefront of everything for them. And therefore, this is nothing but appeasement because Congress has taken the help of PFI and SDPI during elections also, and therefore they're probably returning the favors here. And PFI is a banned outfit which takes inspiration from ISIS and Lakshar. So therefore, if PFI writers are behind the bars, Tanveer Sait is really feeling that some innocents have been booked. Why? It was on camera, it was recorded, the riots took place, and investigations going on. And High Court has looked into the matter, and also investigation was being monitored by High Court also at some point in time. So therefore, at no point in time, there is a doubt on the investigation being carried out. Now, Congress wants to probably get the people out. They are their men. They have indulged in rights. They want to get them out. They want to probably use them for future elections and other Gunda activities. They're probably drawing inspiration from what's happening in West Bengal. They want to do it here.
Okay.
We will not let it happen.
You know, I'm going to read out two things. And listen to me for a minute, Kapil Madan, because this is a magisterial inquiry that was ordered by the cabinet. Just listen in. I'm reading out what these two panels, and the one is of course the High Court and one is what the magisterial inquiry has found into the KJ Halli, DJ Halli violence. This has concluded that members of Social Democratic Party of India, the political wing of the now banned PFI, acted like a terrorist gang and conspired to strike terror amongst the minds of people and police authorities. The cabinet had accepted the magisterial inquiry report submitted by the Bengaluru Urban Deputy Commissioner on the sequence of incidents, circumstances and reason for death of 3 miscreants during the violence in KJ Halli and DJ Halli in August 2020. Now, it has also given a clean sheet to the police action of lathi charge, incidentally. I'm not now going to read out what the Karnataka High Court has said. Now, this is while it was denying bail to accused on the 10th of August 2022. Karnataka High Court observed that the large-scale violence that broke out in DJ Halli and KJ Halli localities following a social media post was an act of terrorism. It rejected the bail petitions of accused Atiq Ahmed and others on Wednesday in connection with the incident. This is a bench headed by Justice K. Somashekar, Justice Shivshankar Amarannavar, who have observed that the violent mob gathered before the police station, attacking police with iron rods, bottles filled with petrol, fomenting violence could be categorized as acts to create terror in public. Are you going to tell me now, national television, Kapil Madan, you're a lawyer, that these judges' wisdom is not going to be questioned?
Now, Madhav, I think, you're missing the woods for the trees. What I am trying to say here is that if A has committed the offense and if you have implicated B, I mean, it is just and proper that
is there proof that there has been miscarriage of justice? Let me ask you. You believe that B is innocent? Fine. You believe that B is innocent. Where is the evidence to prove the innocence? Where is the evidence to prove there's a mistrial or a malicious prosecution? Please tell me that, Kapil Madan.
Madhav, today, Brijbhushan Singh may also say that he is innocent, that he is not committed an offense. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that once you have an evidence, that evidence is presented in the court takes cognizance of it. Let me also tell you that the court is not bound by the police report. If there is a charge sheet presented against A, the court may take a view that A has not committed the offense and it is the B who has committed the offense.
Kapil Madan, apart from waxing eloquent on the procedure, which most of us now are pretty much aware of, you've still not presented anything new. You've still not presented anything new to show that there has been a miscarriage of justice or that people have been unfairly jailed or police action has been taken. Incidentally, it was Advocate Nikhil Jain at that point of time. The one issue that was even contentious is the fact that the Congress did not even support their own MLA in this particular case. Akhanda Srinivasa Murthy was forced to leave the Congress party because his own leaders abandoned him after this attack. He was at the receiving end of the violence and then he was forced to leave the Congress party as well.
See, Madhav, I'll stick to the facts that have happened today. And what the Karnataka Home Minister has done is that he's issued a notice that reads as, it has been requested that innocent youths and students have been arrested under false cases in connection with the protests. It is instructed to take necessary action in regard after review. So basically what the Karnataka Home Minister is saying that certain individuals have been falsely implicated in these riots cases. Nowhere is he saying that you let go of the actual culprits of the case. And we know how the BJP has been operating with things, that an Umar Khalid, who was making certain speeches in December about how the CAA law was not a secular law, he has been jailed for causing the Delhi riots in 2020 February, God knows how. Kapil Mishra of the BJP, who was making statements like आप लोग उठ जाओ वरना DCP के सामने मैं देख लूंगा क्या करेंगे, and Anurag Singh Thakur, who was saying गोली मारो सालों को. These people have not been charged for the Delhi riots, but Umar Khalid has been. So this is precisely the point here, that the Karnataka Home Minister is directing his police to carry out a fair investigation. And you asked Kapil that what is the proof of the innocence. Madhav, that is not how the criminal law system in India works, or for that matter in any country with the rule of law. It is the prosecution, it is the police that has to prove culpability, that has to prove that a person has committed a crime, not the other way around. You can't charge people and then ask them, okay, go and prove yourself that you are not guilty. They have to be proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt, and that is what Karnataka Home Minister is saying.
Nikhil Jain, let me just say one thing. What is the proof? Let me phrase it differently. What is the proof that either Mr. Tanveer Sait has or Mr. Parameshwar have or you have, for instance, to prove that there has been some kind of miscarriage of justice in this case? Is there any glaring fact that has come to light? Is there any statement that has come to the fore? On what basis is this entire process being carried out with? Just a complaint and an entire inquiry is ordered?
Appeasement, nothing else.
See, a request has been made.
They have
by
nothing
a
else to
public
talk.
representative who has roots in the ground, who has ears to the ground. Who has ears to the ground. If he has
every request is going to be investigated like this, Mr. Jain.
The Home Minister is merely asking his police to conduct a fair and thorough investigation. It's not about every request, Madhav. It is about a member of Legislative Assembly asking his Home Minister to conduct a fair investigation in a case where he feels that people have been wrongly accused of very severe crimes. Nobody is, all the facts that you read out about the High Court saying or any other committee saying, they are about how those riots were an act of terror, and nobody is going to question that. I'm sure Kapil is not going to question that. The point is, what Kapil is trying to say is that if I committed violence, Madhav cannot be jailed for it. Nobody is questioning.
So where's the proof that happened?
It was an act
that's
of terror.
exactly what I'm asking you. Where's the proof that has happened,
have
sir?
These individuals.
On what basis are you saying that has happened? There must be some reason for you to say that, some compelling reason.
This letter that find the right proof.
So, this is very interesting.
When an MLA is writing a complaint like this to the Home Minister, you have to.
This reeks of Congress hypocritic mindset. They don't believe in the rule of law. Ever since Congress has come back to power in Karnataka, it is resulting in jungle raj and complete loss of
had that MLA written that,
you want to now say that you will go and find proof now.
So basically, Nikhil Jain, what you're saying is it's okay. We can send the Home Department on a roving and fishing expedition. The Home Department, the police should go on a roving and fishing expedition to try and search for proof to prove what was earlier there in the charge sheet. That's in a sense what you're saying.
Madhav, I have a question for Mr.
No, let me turn this around. Let me turn this around. Had this MLA written this letter to the Home Minister and the Home Minister would have not acted upon it, the same BJP would have said that there is an infighting between the Congress and the Congress Home Minister is not listening to the Congress MLA. I don't understand what is the problem of the BJP if somebody wants to investigate a matter thoroughly. Why are they so afraid of investigations?
Okay, you're afraid of investigations. Mr. Prashant, quick response.
Why do you want to do this? Admit that you stand for PFI. Why are you bringing innocent people here? No innocent has been jailed here. Investigation has gone on. You stand with PFI, stand with them. You've taken their help in elections also. It's your ideology. You're standing with PFI. Banned outfit.
The Congress
so now why are you trying to link it to something else?
To ban organizations like the PFI. Baba, the Congress manifesto said that we are going to ban organizations like the PFI.
No,
the PFI
was
banned and is still banned.
PFI
what are you even saying? How is the Congress standing with the PFI? There is a party that is writing in its manifesto that we are going to ban this organization and you are saying that
PFI was
standing with that party.
already a banned outfit. You try to just make a statement in your manifesto that you will ban it.
Okay. I am not twisting the facts. I am merely stating the fact that the Congress manifesto had said that PFI organizations like the PFI would be banned.
Okay,
and
let me bring in Brajesh Kalapa. Let me bring in Brajesh Kalapa. Brajesh Kalapa, you would have heard the statements of Mr. Basavaraj Bommai today. You would have heard the statements of Mr. Yatnal. In fact, it's not just the fact that there was acts of violence that were carried out, but Mr. Yatnal has also invoked the fact that the previous Siddaramaiah government withdrew cases against PFI in 2015, 175 cases. There was again in 2018 an episode where cases were withdrawn. So there is a history and a context to this withdrawal of cases, the BJP says, to which it is now objecting to. Your response to that, Brajesh Kalapa.
See, Madhav, I happen to be Mr. Siddaramaiah's legal advisor. Of course, I'm no longer in the Congress party. And at that time, if I'm not mistaken, I think cases were withdrawn not just against the PFI, but against the RSS too. RSS, Bajrang Dal, and so on and so forth. The idea at that time was that, look, there were a lot of young people who were, alleged to have committed certain crimes, and many of them were very petty crimes. And therefore, the thought was that instead of criminalizing those youth, I think the best thing would have been to, bring them back to the mainstream. So as far as 2015 and 2018, I think this was the view. But as far as the present situation is concerned, I can tell you that this request is highly uncommon. It's not a very common request. One. Two is that the government must be extremely circumspect in carrying out such a request. This is the second part. But I can tell you with a fair degree of certainty that if there are 500 people or 400 people charged with having done certain things, and even if there's a charge sheet, surely it's a no-brainer that I think at least 50% of them would be innocent people, right? In any event where there is some kind of a communal conflagration, at least 50% are usually innocent. They're just caught up with the situation and they're just there at that point in time. So I think as far as common sense is concerned, it tells me that, look, a substantially large portion of them would certainly be innocent. There's no doubt about it. But these kind of, I think, situations are highly uncommon, and it's best for the judiciary to kind of handle these kind of situations, and the government must not step forward, according to me. Okay. I think at this time, because there is all kinds of versions, some positive, some negative, all kinds of things. At this point,
that's a very measured view. That's a very balanced view. That's a very balanced view.
Substantial investigation has taken place.
Yeah, Brajesh Kalapa, that's a very balanced view, and someone who has been an officer, has been a lawyer. In fact, I'm going to take your question. I'm coming to Anurag Naidu in just a minute, but I want Kapil Madan to respond to that. Kapil Madan, this is not a BJP member. This is a member of the INDA alliance, Mr. Brajesh Kalapa, who's saying that yes, there is a possibility that there may be some innocent youth who may have been charge sheeted, but leave that to the courts and their wisdom. Why should the executive get involved? Isn't this setting a bad precedent, Kapil?
Now the problem is, I will just give you a very short example. What has happened in that Sushant Singh Rajput's case? There is investigation, there is re-investigation, there is re-investigation. So it is not uncommon in judiciary and in the realm of police investigation that you do have a situation wherein you are having, re-investigating a particular case. Now, my second and most important question to, Mr. Prasant here, who has raised a bogey of appeasement issue. Now, Ram Rahim gets payroll 5 times in 2 years. He is not an accused. He is a convict. He is a convict in a rape case and in a murder case, and he is facing castration cases also. Now, is it not an appeasement? Now, what has happened in Gujarat? Bilkis Bano's case, Bilkis Bano's rapists are giving remission. Do you not call this as a appeasement? I mean, shame on him. What is the kind of argument he is trying to make? And this argument does not have any.
You are questioning court system. You're a lawyer.
That does not have any logic. That does not. His argument, his bogey of this appeasement argument has no logic.
Prashant, I'm going to allow that question. Prashant, let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase that question, because Prashant, this is a pertinent question. In the year 2023, isn't it a fact that even the BJP government withdrew cases against 112 people in the act of violence in Kumta, where pro-BJP activists were the accused? So with what moral authority then are you questioning the Congress action today, when the BJP has done exactly the same thing?
Madhav, it is nothing to do with on which activist or what was he part of.
No, your BJP government withdrew cases. That's a fact.
No. Wherever cases were withdrawn, due process was followed, and it's not a case that investigation with the courts was done and court came to conclusion that it's an act of terror. And what Kapil is saying now about Ram Rahim getting a bail, he is questioning judiciary. So if at all he's a lawyer, he should understand he will indict
No, that's parole.
For contempt of court.
Parole is executive discretion. You may bring in the judiciary when it comes to the Bilkis Bano case. You may say that it has gone through the processes of law at the state, at the central level. But at least as far as parole is concerned, you also have to agree. Parole is something that ultimately the state gives the permission for or recommendation for.
The state may give, but ultimately, who's deciding it? It's not the state government who's deciding it. It's somebody sitting as at the judicial level who will decide whether the parole should be granted or not.
Okay.
Therefore, you can't link the PFI writers wanting to be freed from a judicial process where somebody is being granted parole.
Let me bring in Anurag Naidu now. Anurag Naidu, the question is very simple. The question is, there may have been abuse of a process. When Mr. Parameshwar says there is a process in place of withdrawing cases, it's a process that both the BJP and the Congress governments in the past have used. So then, is there really something qualitatively different about what is being done now by the Congress government, by the Siddaramaiah government?
No, absolutely nothing different, Madhav. But Madhav, let's also see, when I was hearing your discussions very patiently, what Mr. Madan and Mr. Jain, essentially are trying to tell you, Madhav, is that, when you ask them several times, who decides who is wrong, who is not. And what the moral, that the conclusion that I understood is that Mr. Jain and Mr. Madan will tell who is innocent, who is not. Just because I am telling you, treat half of them innocent. That's the bottom line. And that's what Mr. Brijesh is also trying to contest. See, look, Madhav, there are political arrests, both the sides, particularly when it comes to the youth activists who go on the street, who do dharnas, there are charges on them. They have bright future, but then, at a goodwill, they are left out free and there are no more cases on them. So there are political arrests on both the sides, but there are also arrests on account of social crime. There are accounts on account of terrorism. And this is something that has been testified by the High Court, the court, the competent authority. So when you have such a solid judgment or such a solid observation from the courts, you cannot just write off on a national TV a couple of advocates, panelists that are sitting, that saying that, okay, whosoever we are telling they're clean. Because we are telling they're clean, you have to treat them like clean. So things do not work like that. And like Mr. Bridget also mentioned very nicely, it also should be left, although the parole is in the prerogative of the state government, but it doesn't look nice that an executive comes in, at a very early stage. That too, in an early stage of the government, when they have a strong government, it also reflects that they have got a big responsibility for the people of Karnataka to discharge positive duties, not just, in the first few months that you go on releasing people. And look at the kind of visuals, Madhav, if you see the visuals in Pulkesh Nagar and other places where the riots happened, this is not the riot which a normal political worker would go and do. This is a typical act. It has got a pattern. If you see the kind of, visuals, it is very difficult to believe that, majority of them or all of them are innocent.
Okay. So Nikhil Jain, I want Nikhil Jain to respond to you, because Nikhil Jain, there is also another context. There's another context in which we are debating this, and that is the very fact that a few days ago, you would have also seen the news that Mr. Parameshwar first refused to call a terror accused as a terror accused. He should be just called an accused, and then did a complete flip-flop in a few hours. So is there a hurry to, the question that the BJP asked during that episode, is there a hurry of Mr. Parameshwar, for whatever reasons, to give a clean chit to this person who is accused in a terror case? And once again, the question of appeasement arising over here as well.
See, on the contrary, Madhav, I feel that the Karnataka Home Minister right now, unlike the previous government, is somebody who believes in the rule of law very firmly. Mr. Naidu said that he has withdrawn the cases. He's not withdrawn the cases. He's simply saying, so this is the interesting thing. No, the Karnataka Home Minister in his notice, he's never said that withdraw these cases. He simply said that individuals have been falsely implicated. Kindly review that. He's never asked for those to be withdrawn. That withdrawal would happen if it happens.
He says there is an established process of withdrawal. This is the exact quote. This is exact quote, Nikhil Jain. He says there is an established process of withdrawal of cases. And that process has begun. Now it is up to the Home Department to examine it.
Withdrawal is being followed? No. That process of withdrawal, so if a due process, if anything is being done with the due process, I don't understand what the BJP's problem with that is. We're talking about the Home Minister here, not calling a person a terrorist and simply calling them an accused. That is exactly how it is in law, that nobody is guilty until proven beyond reasonable doubt in a court of law. That is how the law works. That is how the rule of law is. It's not like a BJP ruled Madhya Pradesh where somebody's house would be bulldozed, their parents' house would be bulldozed just because there's an allegation against that person.
Who is Sadhi Pragya according to you? Who is Sadhi Pragya? What do you call Sadhi Pragya?
Now,
she's an accused in a case.
Just an accused.
She's accused in a
You want me to read out the number of times that people of the Congress and other opposition parties have said otherwise? So, I mean, the shoe fits both ways. I'm just saying, I'm nobody to defend anybody who's an accused over here. But I'm just saying the same yardstick has to be measured. The same yardstick has to be put up in both cases.
Let's also remember what she said for Hemant Khare.
Yeah. No, that's a different issue. That's a different issue. But I want to get a quick closing comment. I want to get a quick closing comment from Brajesh Kalapa. Brajesh Kalapa, you know, we can talk about legal process and the precedent, but the question that we are raising, that, you know, comes out of this entire episode is this, that ultimately somewhere, you know, and perhaps the BJP and the Congress can both be accused of this, that, you know, when it comes to law and order, you know, taking out various political points and using the law and order system for your own political ends. At the end of the day, that's the message that comes out of it. And that's certainly not something that's very healthy.
Yeah. In Karnataka, Madhav, I've heard personally where Mr. Yediyurappa was, speaking when one of the BJP Karyakartas had been arrested. He said that, look, we are going to set this district on fire unless this guy is, relieved of all charges. So this is the level of politics that is happening in the state. And I think at some point in time, I think we must trust the judiciary. We must trust that the judiciary is the final arbiter in all these issues, and they must actually have the final say. And if the police have done a job, and they've done a fairly thorough job in regard to DJ Halli, KJ Halli, why actually go back on those issues? Because ultimately you have to trust the police, whether it's the Congress or the BJP. Ultimately, every time there is a incident of some suicide or something, the BJP jumps up and says that, look, the police have gone wrong, hand it over to the CBI. Now, exactly the same thing is happening at the hands of the Congress.
Okay, exactly.
That they are saying that, look, reinvestigate this. What's the point of reinvestigating?
Absolutely. There's some serious questions. There are some serious questions when big incidents of law and order take place. Should we really be having this kind of divisive politics is a question that many would ask. We'll have to leave it there for the moment, gentlemen. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. DS Prashant, Anurag Naidu, Brajesh Kalapa, as well as Advocate Kapil Madan. Nikhil Jain stays with us for debate number 2.